Hello and welcome back. This is Bamster's News, Monday morning and, well, I guess really early morning for my co-host. But this will be the month of Comic-Con, July 1st. And in the hot seat with me, I got G. G-Talk, say hey.
Hey.
So what are we talking about today, G?
Well, let's see. There's Padre, there's Halo, there's Summer Steam Sale Event, aka the race thing. Bossgard, Pigeon Sims, some Kickstarter with some mice. Ooh, what else do we have? And we might have some rumors about a TV show coming back.
And if all goes as planned, in the background, for those of you watching on Facebook or YouTube, Spider-Man Far From Home VR footage. Man, that thing is so much fun to play.
Is that the one where he went back to England and lived right next to his parents? He was that far from home.
Well, the movie doesn't come out for another day. It comes out on the 2nd. 2nd or 3rd? I think it's on the 2nd is when it comes out. But, no, the VR, it's a free... I call it a demo, but I guess it's a full-fledged game. It only takes about 15 or 20 minutes to play through, but just kind of a promotional thing for the Spider-Man movie, and I guess it's available on Steam and PSVR, but man, it's so much fun. And there are definitely times when you're jumping off these tall buildings where you get a little bit of a sense of vertigo. It's crazy.
But no motion sickness? Impressive.
Yeah, I haven't had any issue with all the stuff I've been checking out on the VR setup with any kind of motion sickness. So I guess your mileage will vary on that, whether or not you suffer from motion sickness with VR games. But no, it's been... Oh man, it is so much fun. But yeah, there's a few times when jumping off a building and you're looking down, you're just like, oh my goodness.
So, well, I guess the news isn't that you're playing VR games. It is what Padre's out for Xbox One.
Yeah, and we'll make sure this will be one of those things we include in a link in the description. But if you haven't heard of Padre and you're wondering what the Padre is, it's basically like a voxel retro 3D horror adventure game, and you're playing as a Padre, going up against supernatural elements. And we had these folks, that was it 2 years ago? I honestly I can't remember how far back, but we had the developer on quite a while back, and that was a fun interview. Yeah,
and particularly it was fun having the guy doing the voices for the Padre doing the voice, and I'll refrain from mimicking it because my throat's too dry. It doesn't work. It's a nice little game. I actually played it and I had fun with it, but it was also kind of difficult. I think I was playing an early version and there was some kind of thing wrong with one of the stories. So, But it wasn't an easy game. It was nice and challenging.
Yeah, cool. So now you can find that on the Xbox for $19.99. And since we're talking about Microsoft things, you might run across a listing or see some information about a leaked version of the Halo Master Chief Collection, the First Flight. Somehow it leaked online. Fair warning, though. They're actively seeking folks who are out there playing that, and if they catch you, they're going to ban you from it. So, not just that, but it sounds like they may ban you from playing the game. This is the weird thing I don't understand. This is like, they're not going to, like, why would somebody want to buy it if they get banned from it?
So what I've seen is that it is out there in a leaked version, not that you buy, but that you can download from various websites of ill repute. So don't do that.
Well, right, but I'm talking about the ban and how that will affect you going forward.
Don't think they care. If they ban the hardware, they ban it.
Yeah, I don't know. I signed up for the beta testing, as they call it, the flight, so I'm just waiting to get my ticket punched so I can get in there and check it out as well.
Well, you do like those weird shooter thing games. No, the boring ones.
Hey, to each their own, Mr. Boring Sim Game.
Yeah, at least mine is not, oh, shoot, oh, I got shot. Shoot again, oh, I got shot.
But anyway, so the statement that came from them says, "It has come to our attention that the Halo Insider Flight has been illegally distributed online. If you download or play this illegal copy, we have the right to ban all associated accounts and remove you from current or future 343 games. The Microsoft Service Agreement can be found," and they provide a link. But it's funny because I'm not particularly shocked that it leaked, and I know that there are folks that will go out and will look for this, but I don't know. I just find it strange that they're going to ban you from purchasing the game when it comes out if you play it illegally before you can even get a hold of it. And I'm not recommending you go play it illegally, but just seemed a little bit strange.
Okay, just story time. Literally, within this last week, sitting in a chat room online with a publisher, game publisher, and somebody shows up because there's a public room that anybody can join, asking for how to get illegal copies or torrents, etc., of video games, and the publisher having to explain that, sorry, we don't do that here. People,
Wow.
stop downloading and stop demanding free games. Just don't.
There are so many free and cheap games out there as it is. I mean, well, right now, and you mentioned this in the quick overview, the Steam Summer Sale's going on, so there's just a ton of stuff that's available at, half off, 60, 80% off or more. There's no need for this.
Yeah, but then sometimes Steam messes up their summer sale, don't they?
Yeah, I guess they've tried to make it extra confusing. For the most part, at least how the activity itself worked, I thought that kind of made sense. Although some of the big confusion appears to be folks just decimating their wish list, thinking that if they only had a couple of high-priced games that they really wanted, those would be the games that get picked if they happen to win the race and get a free game. So they had to come out and re-explain that it's the top of the list. And I guess indie devs have been getting hit pretty hard on the wish list side of that too, because people have just been massacring their wish list to try and improve their odds.
If anybody don't know what it is Drag is talking about, because, wow, what a way of explaining it. It is the Steam Grand Prix, which is a little competition where you can win the game that is highest on your wish list.
And I've seen a lot of folks have been winning Cyberpunk.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that came across the most times when I was looking to see what was being awarded.
That's weird, because Cyberpunk shouldn't be... They said games that haven't been released won't be awarded. That was one of the things that came out to clarify. If you wish list games that aren't out, it doesn't make sense removing them or anything, because you can't win those.
Steam has this thing where there's a difference between coming soon and available for pre-order. And so I'm wondering if, because Cyberpunk is available for pre-order, if maybe that's why, because you can actually go and purchase it now in the Steam store for $60.
Ah, that might be it. But yeah, literally you can win your first, second, or third listed, or ranked. That's why you should rank your games, and I guess it's just a way of getting people to try and rank wish lists and get used to that going forward.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually only rank my wish list when it's a small amount. Right now it's sitting at 40 games, and I'd rather just sort it by price. Pick things up when they go on sale.
Yeah, and the thing where it really hurt was indie developers, they really rely on the wish lists. They need a certain amount of wish lists, so when they release, can at least assume, again, some amount of that will be realized early on. It's literally a critical part of releasing indie games. And what Steam have done has probably meant quite a few indie developers will have a negative experience financially. That their games won't even break even as a thank you because of how this was worded. It comes down to, I would argue, people being stupid. But it wasn't particularly unclear, but it wasn't well written. It wasn't clearly written from Steam. So Steam could have done better. People could have been better at reading. But I think ultimately I would blame Steam on this one. It's their effort.
Well, yeah, it's definitely the balls in their court to provide, information so that the masses will understand what's going on. Which that wasn't even the only aspect of it that was fairly confusing. You're supposed to get 100. I think it's 100 extra points for every dollar you spend, and I picked up about, I think it was right around 10 games and spent a little over $100, but did not see the same amount of points that they said I would have or was supposed to get for that. And then the way that the game itself works with, you can go to an area that they call the pit stop, and you can spend your points there to get little emotes and other things. You can level up the Steam sale badge and whatnot. Initially, I wasn't using the points there because I thought I was going to use them on the boost, but then I found when you actually use them on the boost, you still get to use them there. And I ended up going in and leveling up the badge today because a buddy of mine pointed out if you just go and level up the badge, your Steam level is going to jump like mad. I went from level 49 in Steam today to like I think 71 or 72, just spending points and leveling up the Steam badge.
Does that do anything?
It adds the number of friends you can have on your friends list, which I'm sure that I probably are way beyond anything that I need. But, yeah, I don't know. Bragging rights, which I personally don't care either. So I just did it because it's like, well, I might as well use the points for something.
Okay. Well, I joined and I've earned 0 points because I still haven't bought anything in the sale.
Now, I think you have other tasks you can do to earn points as well. Like, you have to play specific games and do certain things in the games. But I was like, nah, man, I don't feel like doing that.
Well, I can see that you're in the group that is leading the most around you, the Corgi group.
Well, yeah, when I finally got into the Steam sale and started looking at this stuff, I saw that they were by far and large way ahead of everybody else and didn't seem to be a point to pick any one of the other creatures. So, yeah. Probably lessens my chances of actually winning a free game off the top of my list, but oh well.
No idea.
I think they just pick random people from the winning group, so if everybody's in one group, then that would mean, only a certain number of people would still get them. But anyway, moving past Steam, or I should say to another part of Steam, you brought up a game just a few minutes ago here that I guess we missed. We forgot to mention that was... came out in April.
Well, it's one of those we can't catch every single game. It's just impossible. But this one I found later on. It's called Bossgard, and it looks hilarious.
So, what is it, and how does it work?
Well, think 1v5 asymmetrical, and it's just boss fights. But you play as, the bosses are the weirdest everyday things. I particularly saw one clip where it was a piece of bread, so you fought against a piece of bread. Because why not?
Well, I guess if you have a gluten or some kind of allergy like that, then maybe that could be a deadly foe.
Yeah, disclaimer, gluten allergy is not something to people who have celiac disease. That's not a small thing. That is actually lethal. But you can play against the dice, or I guess since it's 1v5, somebody can play as a die and then the rest play against that. Where, the die rolls around and tries to squish people.
I think back in D&D days, I had plenty of dice try to kill me.
Yep. How about a plunger? Don't you want to play as a plunger? Jumping around and plunging things.
So, they just... What do they throw darts at a wall with a bunch of random images from Google and try to find like the craziest things that they could, most random things for bosses?
Well, that's the thing. It is bosses, but they literally just took everyday stuff and turned it into a boss, with different mechanics that are. I think the bread shoots laser out of a hole in it as the dice rolls around. The plunger jumps around and tries to squish you. It's just, it's fun. It looks like good fun.
Well, there you go. It's called Bossgard, and it is on Steam right now, available for purchase for $12.99.
Link in the description. But kind of covering up that we missed a release back in April, because we really should have caught this one. Something that is announced, I guess, a couple of hours ago now. today, Monday, Boss Studios' new game, Pigeon Simulator, or potentially new game, or they're doing a thing with a Pigeon Simulator. Whether it becomes a full game or what it becomes, we'll have to see what they do. But basically, a game where you fly around in a city, big city, and you're a pigeon, and you poop.
I gotta say, I never played Goat or Bear Simulator. I never saw the appeal to those things, and so I don't know really all that much about them. But some of the stuff I've seen online from, I think this is one of the devs, or maybe the only dev that's doing this. Last time I checked, pigeons didn't carry an explosive payload.
Oh no, that's poop. If you poop on the hot dog stands, the hot dog stands blow up.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, what kind of pigeons are these?
They're regular pigeons. You've clearly never been to London.
I have, and I've been to New York City as well, and I've never seen a pigeon poop something that would cause something to explode and catch fire.
Oh, wait until they start picking up people.
Oh, yeah. Super pigeon.
But yeah, this is sort of typical of Boss Studio. They made the game I Am Bread, Surgeon Sim, Worlds Adrift. MMO that got quite... it has critically good reviews, but apparently didn't do so well because Worlds Adrift has been cancelled recently. But they make slightly different games. They made a game where you date cats, or at least they published the game. I think it's made by one of their employees, but not in the studio. It's really weird. And you date cats, why not? So I'm thinking Pigeon Simulator is right up their alley. And it's one of those to follow because now it's announced, let's see what they do with it.
Well, and moving from a game that's announced to another one that is on Kickstarter, both of them in the animal arena, so to speak. Sent me a link for a Kickstarter called Small Saga with some kind of mouse using a Swiss Army knife. What's going on here?
Oh, come on, this one is awesomely cute. Small Saga, they literally just got funded, or a couple of days ago, they managed to hit their target. The Kickstarter ends on Thursday, but it's like a small medieval kingdom of rats and rodents, mice, moles, squirrels, you name it. It's a kingdom named Rodentia, so yeah, they're rodents. Set in, I'm guessing, present-day London. And it's turn-based RPG. You play as a mouse who has to fight to, what is it? His tail has been stolen, so he has to get that back. And yeah, one of the things you can get is this Victorinox Swiss Army knife. You wear a thimble as a helmet. It's just cute. I love this.
Well, I definitely agree with the cute factor. Little 2D characters and running around, like the perspective and the size and everything. But yeah, this is. It looks like it's already successfully funded, and they still have 2 days to go.
Yeah, precisely. They hit the initial target a couple of days ago. Stretch goals a little bit iffy, and it's gonna come out. I just hope a lot more people will back it these last couple of days. That's why we bring it up. If nothing else, go check this one out. There's a link in the description to it. It's called Small Saga. It's on Kickstarter. It ends on Thursday. And if this doesn't kind of do something with your heart, then you're a cold person.
Well, I'd say if this doesn't do something with your heart and you have VR, you should check out Moss. I can't say enough good things about that game. Wow.
Didn't I tell you to get that?
I can't remember if you did or not. You might have suggested it. That might be why it was on my wish list. But I remember I looked at the video and it was like a Celtic themed music that was going on, and it was a really cute looking thing. But just watching the videos doesn't even really communicate just how cute it is when you throw that VR headset on and you start interacting with the stuff. That the character model that they've done of the little mouse. And the way that they have done the animating for all the walking, climbing, jumping, and all that stuff is really well done. And on top of that, there's a bunch of cute little moments, including several times where you'll complete a task and then the mouse wants to give you a high five. So if you have any kind of VR headset, and you can check out Moss, go look at that too.
And if I'm not mistaken, the mouse in Moss will actually do sign language. I think it's American Sign Language he's doing.
I saw where it was something that I wondered if that's what it was. I don't know sign language myself, so I wasn't sure. But he does definitely mimic different things. Like if you pause for too long, like while you're thinking about how to get through a puzzle or something, he'll kind of like grunt, or it might be a she. I'm not sure, but she kind of grunts and like starts motioning for different things. So yeah, no, it's a super cute, really cool game.
Well, I saw it. It is also on the PlayStation sale, which might still be ongoing. So if you're on the PlayStation PSVR, get it there.
All right, and the last thing to round this out before we head out for the day is I guess we got some entertainment news.
Oh, there was a rumor I just could not let lie. Apparently, Blackadder Season 5 might come out.
I've heard the name, and I definitely recognize. I'm looking at the picture, and I recognize all of these folks in the picture. But I don't think I ever actually watched the show. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of it.
Oh, so this is the thing. I've seen episodes of it, but I've never sat down and actually watched it from end to end. So I've never watched like season 1, 2, 3, 4, and season 1 is from '83, I guess. Season 4 was ended in '89. And this is old stuff, but it's with some of the best comedians you have in the UK. Rowan Atkinson, Stephen Fry, Hugh Laurie, Tony Robinson. I guess he doesn't do so much comedy anymore. He's been politically active in later years. They made this show ages ago, and each season is set in a different scenario. What is it? World War One in the last season? One of them is set in... They're set in various historically English... British themes. And the new ones allegedly, reportedly, will be present day, so not historical. And Blackadder, instead of being these various terrible persons in history, will be a university lecturer. So it's gonna be different, and it has to be different. I mean, I looked it up. Tony Robinson is now 72. And I'm going to... Ultimately, the reason I want to watch is Hugh Laurie. If you've seen him in House MD, or Dr. House as it's called in some places, he's not as spry and as chipper as he used to be. I want to see him reprise that kind of role that he has in Blackadder. That is going to be fun.
I don't know, the way you started to describe it, it was almost starting to sound like Grumpy Old Men or something like that. A bunch of grumpy old guys screaming, "Get off my lawn!"
But that's part of it, because the previous series, as well as there was a Christmas special, there's a special movie made around the year 2000. All of them were sort of a commentary on old people. Like, here's the youth making commentary on old people. How terrible the people in power are. How terrible the old adults are. But now all of these people have gotten, old. So this will be a commentary on how terrible the youth is.
Nice. I'm sure there'll be plenty of jokes about people being too much on their cell phones.
Yeah, but all we know so far is supposedly, allegedly, reportedly, these four got together in London. They are all good friends from the past. But they got together for the purpose of figuring out whether to do a season 5, and that might actually be moving forward. And if you haven't watched Blackadder at all, go and watch them. I still want to go back and watch them season by season, and I have a theory. My wife has some DVD somewhere I really ought to dig out and go through. But if this comes as a season 5, definitely, yes, please.
Okay, and on that note, that'll be the weekend wrap-up and the news to prep you for the rest of the week. So stay tuned here for our news episode on Friday. I think we are taking the week off, so there won't be a regular podcast episode this Wednesday unless we manage to sneak something out, but I wouldn't count on it. As always, your listenership is appreciated. A like would be appreciated, subscription if possible, and I guess we'll catch you on the next one.
Ciao, people.